just de-iced the car. It was very, very cold last night. But the reason that I'm up and about this morning is because I really want to see if I can catch a cloud inversion or a fog inversion, if that's a word, because it's been a real pea super here lately. The start of 2017, as everybody knows, has been a very foggy start to the year. So not all bad, probably chaos if you're trying to commute to work, but for those of us that love the fog, we're probably photographers, that's why we love it. So I want to try and get up to the top of Worcester Beacon and the Malverns, and I want to see if I can look down on a beautiful, serene cloud inversion. I'm already annoyed at myself. What an incredible sunrise. And as I'm looking back towards where I live, I can just see a huge ball of fire illuminating the whole sky above a blanket of cloud. And of course, Muggins is in the car at temporary traffic lights with a camera nowhere to be seen. I am so annoyed at myself. If I'd have got out of bed half an hour earlier, I would have been able to capture the sun rising over that blanket of cloud over the Worcester plain. It is it's crazy amazing. I don't think the Worcester plain's a real name for it. I think it's something like the Severn. Is it the Worcester? Oh, I don't know what it's called. But it is unbelievable up here. Sometimes you just got to look around and just think, pinch yourself. You think, is this? Right, so I'm going to go for my usual Ronaldo selfie. Ronaldo para el Real Madrid. I'm going to stand on that bench, and what I'm going to do is a bracketed exposure either side of what I think is perfectly exposed, which is, I think I've got it on F9. I think I'm at a shutter speed of about 100th of a second with an ISO of 100. So I'm going to do a 3-stop bracketed exposure. Here we go. Let's have a look, see if it's any good. That looks quite cool.
Cristiano, qué golazo! Goal!
So it's about 9 o'clock now. The sun's come up. It's quite, I wouldn't say it's high in the sky, but there's certainly not a lot of colour around anymore. Lovely blue sky though, as you can probably see. But there's still this cloud inversion, but like my hairline, it is receding. So what I think I'm going to have to do is work quite quickly and see if I can get some shots of the town and some of the trees that are poking out. I think I'm going to get the big stopper out just while I'm here, just to see if I can smooth out that fog. But yeah, like I say, my hairline is receding, the fog is receding. I'm just doing a quick 10-second exposure because what I've had to do is increase my ISO. Now the reason for that is I wouldn't really like to do that normally, but I wanted to shoot with a wider aperture so I could expose for longer at ISO 100. However, the wind I've tried to dodge the wind by coming a bit lower around the corner, still can't do that. I'm still getting a bit of camera shake. So what I've done, I've decided to shoot at higher aperture. I'm shooting about 7.1 now. I am also increasing the ISO to 500, which gives me a shorter shutter speed using the big stopper. And it does actually give a similar effect, but obviously there's a little bit more noise. But obviously with software and full frame cameras these days, it's not the end of the world. Of course, you should always really be aiming to use the lowest ISO possible, but sometimes it's a little bit like juggling. You've got to always just, that exposure triangle of ISO, aperture and shutter speed is constantly changing, and you should always be thinking on your feet, really. So one thing I do have to do, well, I don't have to do this, but I want to, is I'm waiting for a bit of sunshine to come in. Now what that will do, that will just cast a nice little light on the buildings that will be in the middle ground of the shot. So it's just a waiting game really, and not only have I got to wait for sunshine, I've got to try and calculate if the sun will give me a constant light for around about 10 to 15 seconds. I've just exposed, and I've worked out my best exposure time is about 13 seconds. So I've got to try and calculate by looking at the sky if there is a window of blue sky or a hole in the clouds for about 13 seconds. So every time there's a bit of light, I've got to try and fire off an exposure. But when I do that, I get a little bit of light on the buildings, which is nice, and also the clouds just have a little bit more of a glow to them, which I hope that the exposure will pick up. Right. The great thing is about a cloud inversion is that you can see the light sweeping across. So we've got a little bit of light coming in from that side. It's really cool though. Cloud inversion, never seen one before. Lost my cloud inversion virginity. Am I allowed to say that? I've said it. Still waiting. Spoke to a few passers-by. People are always so nice up here. I think when people are out in the fresh air, people are just nice to people. So, yeah, it's nice. Just be nice, and people will be nice back to you. That's today's lesson to learn. I haven't really got any more wisdom to impart. No, can't think of anything. Still waiting for the sun. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Something's happening. Here we go. Right. Okay. So I'm going to fire off an exposure now, and I'm going to wait. I'm hoping that I've got about 13 seconds. 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 13, right, so that's 13 seconds of exposure. So let's have a look. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's quite nice. I'm actually going to go in a bit closer actually. So I'm going to try and take out a little bit of the foreground and see if I can do the same thing. Now, this is a little bit of a guess because it has to be, unfortunately, because I'll lose the light. I'm in focus to infinity, so everything should be in focus, which is no problem. So it's just a case of hoping that my composition will be okay. The reason I've chosen this composition, as you can see, is there is a little bit of, oh, there's a little bit overexposed, that's 15 seconds. There's a little bit of a, I'm not quite sure what this hill in the foreground's called, but there's a leading line, there's a pathway, and it looks like it's leading straight down into the town, which looks quite nice. So I thought I'd shoot that in the foreground. And obviously we've got the blanket of cloud beyond. So that's quite cool. Right, so let's have a look at this last one I've done. No, overexposed, don't like that. Composition is rubbish. Again, bit of guesswork, I'm going up. We'll do a 10-second exposure on this, I think. So nice to be out this morning. So nice out here. I've decided to carry my camera on my quick access strap. What do you even call this? A holster? I feel like I'm in the Wild West or something. Just in case I see a shot. I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 exposures or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
I always go a little bit mental when I'm on my own, too much. So, sorry about that. So, that was a fun little shoot this morning. Great to finally get my first cloud inversion, which was absolutely lovely. So, just before I do head home for a bit of breakfast and to start editing, I'm going to just check out another location, which is a quarry down the road, which I've heard of. which I've read about, which looks quite nice. I hope you enjoyed my Clint. That was Clint Eastwood, by the way, if you didn't get that.
Well, I've just had a little location scout at a place that I've read about. A lovely little lake. But you know, I often think about daily vlogging, but I always think, will I have enough content to give you, you know, for you to watch? And honestly, I don't think I would. I think I'm going to start trying to do a weekly vlog from now, or at least every fortnight. So yeah, I'm sure they'll always revolve around photography. Some of them will, however, be tutorials. Some of them will be, you know, using the software, using the gear. But the majority of them, my favourite ones to do, are the ones where I get up and go out. So I'm hoping to climb a couple of mountains this year, 2017. I've got my eye on a couple of Munros and a few mountains in Wales that I haven't been to. And there's a lot more locations on my doorstep here in Malvern. And one thing that I really would try to encourage everyone to do is to shop locally. You don't have to go to the Scottish Highlands to get a great picture. I guarantee in the UK there's going to be somewhere within a half an hour drive of where you're watching this, a place of outstanding natural beauty, or just a place of coolness. You know what I mean? Like, you can go to your local city centre, you can get some great shots there. You know, you might be into street photography, you can go to your local city. You know, Bristol, Birmingham, London, Nottingham. There's so many cool places in this country. So what I really want to encourage people to do is just get out, shoot, and let me know how you get on. I'd love to connect. You know, find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, 500px. Maybe 2017 is the year for collaboration. Get in touch and we'll see if we can work something out. If you want to go out for a shoot, and if you really want, I might let you on my YouTube channel. But the deal is you have to have a really high hairline like that, or no hair. No, I'm only joking. Just don't be prettier than me. So as always, if it's your first time watching me, subscribe, check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you all soon. You know what, this vlog's not over yet. I've just driven back down, and where I live is covered in fog, and it's only like a mile away from where I've just been. So cool. If I shoot contre-jour, I don't speak French, that just means against the light. I keep getting drawn to this one here, but I'm not quite sure that I like it because it's got that ring of... You know what? This is going to be the end of the vlog. There's so many compositions that I've got available to me here, and there's so much that I've got to talk about. Lights, it's shutter speed, ISO, aperture, that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new vlog, and this is going to be the end of this vlog. So make sure that you catch the next one after the one you're watching now. Right, so I'm going to go back to the car, and we are going to do some fog photos, and they're going to be fogging brilliant.